Hello there, my name is Kang, and in this clip I would like to share with you how I learned to speak English well by myself. These tips are 100% based on my real personal experience, and if you follow these 5 steps, I believe that you could stand a very good chance of improving your English speaking skills considerably. So the first step is that you should have at least a basic command of English grammar, which would help you not make too many grammatical errors when speaking. Grammar or syntax is like a map that shows you the directions to where you want to go. When your thoughts are well organized, your speech becomes much clearer and much easier to understand. The next step is to build up on your vocabulary to make your speech meaningful and appropriate. The question is, what kind of words you need to know to speak well, and how to learn them fast. Unlike written English, spoken English usually does not require complex academic vocabulary that are very rarely used in everyday conversations. You only need to stick to simple, easy to use words that everyone can quickly understand, and you will already have most of what you need to express yourself comfortably. Another thing is that you should try to memorize vocabulary not as individual words, but in phrases instead. When learned in phrases, words are much easier to remember, and you will know better when and where to use them since you are familiar with their context. Moving on to the third step, and this is the important one. Try your best to expose yourself to spoken English as much as possible. When I was studying in Singapore, I had to use English almost all the time. And after just a short time, my English level got much better than when I was in Vietnam. The reason is very simple. You have to actually speak English to become a better speaker. Speaking is an active skill, which means you can't acquire it sitting in one place and study books. You have to get out there, you have to talk to people, you have to listen to them speaking, you have to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. Real speaking experience is an invaluable source of learning, and it's 100% practical. And when I say learning, I mean copying, which is the fourth step. There's a famous saying in English which goes like this: when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When speaking English, speak as the English do. Never try to speak English the way you speak Vietnamese. That is like speaking Vietnamese the way you speak English. It sounds weird and unnatural. And that's exactly why it's so important that you copy as best you can, not just English usage, but also pronunciation and intonation. The better you are at copying native speakers, the more confident you will feel in expressing yourself in English, and the more likely those speakers are to understand what you're saying. I used to read out loud text in English just to practice my pronunciation, and would often repeat exactly the lines, the characters in English language movies just to practice my intonation. If you want to speak just like a native speakers, you can do it. So far, I have discussed the role of syntax, vocabulary, exposure and imitation or copying, correct? Now is the final fifth step, and that's learning to speak your mind freely and confidently. English is not a language for shy people. English is for bold, active, outgoing, open-minded people who aren't afraid to show others what they have to say. You have to believe in yourself, your ideas, and be ready to defend them. Every day now, I usually talk to myself in English about certain things, about anything that arouse my critical thinking, and I find it a really satisfying way of expressing myself because of the strong, free thinking characteristics of English. And that's how you could train yourself in thinking critically and enjoy speaking English more and more. So these are the 5 steps that I believe to be the correct way to practice your English speaking skill. Speaking good English, natural English, is a difficult but not impossible challenge. Once you overcome your fear of it, you will find it one of the most enjoyable things to do in the world. Till then, just remember that if you want it enough, you can get it, and you will get it. Also, if you want to know more about stuff like this, you can sign up for one of my courses in pronunciation and communication, where I will personally instruct you on how to improve your English speaking skills. Goodbye for now. Have a nice day, and thank you for listening.